Hello, everybody, and welcome back to M&J Games. I am Michael, and we're picking up where we left off last episode. In last episode, we had these coasters created, and I showed you using the glitch how to kind of plant them here in the park to where you can then save them as a larger blueprint and so forth. Now, in today's episode, probably not going to get quite this whole area done. We'll probably have a little bit left to finish next time, just kind of depending on what all I'm able to get done this week. But first thing I want to start with is I want to be able to place some kind of food building in here, just to add a little bit more detail as you're kind of walking up this way or something. I think it's going to be right in this space. I also need to create, I kind of figure out where the transfer track is going to be and kind of how the terrain is going to look. And so I want this, as I talked about, to kind of go up a hill. And then my thought is, I'll flatten this out, but to have the transfer track kind of here, and then just to using an actual path kind of go underneath here, kind of removing some of the supports, come down to the path. Because based off what I'm going to do, there's not a realistic way for me to get a path all the way up here. And you guys will see as we go throughout this episode why that is. But yeah, so that's my thought here. I'm going to start working with the terrain first, then trying to place a couple of buildings. And as you can see, I deleted the pathing that I had here before, as I just wasn't happy with it. So we'll see where I go with that. Creates flowers, and I'll probably just put a little bit of bushes there, but just to try to save on piece count and put some kind of border around and stuff. As you can see here, this is going to be kind of like an entryway into this coaster area. And one way that I'm trying to learn how to build better is by looking at reference photos, looking at stuff that other people made in the game, a lot of PC players and stuff. And this is something similar to something that Commando Santa did on his Buffalo Valley Park. I don't know if I'm going to keep... I'm just trying to figure out how this is going to work in the concept of like this area. Got to work on kind of the station, because this is really an elevated station. So I need to do something to it to kind of make it look not so boxy and unique. So I got to figure that out. And then these fences right here, I copied straight from Steel Vengeance, essentially, just as kind of protective fences and stuff. And then we have a little bit of a awkward style building here. And I'm probably going to try to do something up here just to make it not seem as just blank, and still trying to work on some of the details there. But I like the idea of having this food place right here. And then we're going to have I need to put another fence up there. This is, the entryway to where the maintenance area is. And then let me show you from over here. We've got a nice little food building. And it's going to be a barbecue rib joint. I need to put some chairs and stuff out there. But just ribbon. And then if you custom fencing, continue that fencing along. But I changed the color of the wood there, because I didn't like that darker color with these pieces here. And then I have some custom fencing going around and stuff. I'm just going to put a couple flowers, small trees in that space. But here we have... good old Southern barbecue with all the fixins, as some people say here in the South. So we got some good barbecue here in Tennessee. And for anybody who also believes their state has great barbecue, or where do you think the best barbecue in America is? Is it Tennessee barbecue? Is it Texas, Kansas City? Carolinas, there's a lot of great places. I'm sure I'm missing some too, but those are just the main ones where I have had barbecue from. And just the look right there is just awesome. Oh, and another thing I added these concrete footers, because you would not have this where those didn't exist. So that's what I've been working on so far. And I also reworked this pathing down here a little bit, because it had this really awkward kind of hump in the path, and I just didn't like it. And it still got it a little bit, but it's not as bad as it was. And I just decided to, instead of having to kind of wrap around, because I couldn't get the pathing how I wanted it to, just to make this whole area kind of like its own little plaza like that. But yeah, so I will see you guys once I continue working for a little bit. All right, so we are here at the end of the episode, and we're not completely done with the other area. There's still a lot that needs to get done, but the reason why I'm cutting the episode off here is because I've reached the limit again. Like literally when I lay down another piece, it's going to hit the limit. I'm going to have to reload the save file. So what I usually do when I get to 100% is every time I place down a few pieces, because I think you can place about 400 pieces on the PS5 once you've gotten to 100%. So it's almost like 101%. But what I'll do is I'll save it every once in a while, because the issue is if just let me show you guys this real quick. So if I place, I think I'm basically one piece away. Or more. There we go. So now I've hit the limit, right? So I can't build anything else. Well, it's like, oh, well, let me just delete one piece. Nope, that doesn't work. So what you end up having to do, let me go away from what I've been working on, is you end up having to, let's say, there's 23 pieces. Still doesn't allow me to do anything, right? Let's see. Let's get rid of that part right there. There's another 13. Still doesn't allow me to. So the issue there is it's not like, oh, I can just delete one piece and everything's all good. It's like it almost takes like, so that'd be what? Yeah, see, it's over 50 pieces that you have to delete to be able to get back under the limit, which is like almost a tenth of a percent. So it really just hurts you being able to build as you get closer. So that's one thing I recommend doing is saving when you get close to 100%, so that you can just reload the save file if you know you get to a point like that. So, which, oh my gosh, that's a great view. You know what? Let's get in flip cam mode. Where's a staff member? Or you know what? We'll just make a staff member or hire another staff member, which I have been told for anybody who's visited the park from a follower that I'm definitely going to work on get all the handy stuff down, all the maintenance stuff down before I open the park officially, because the trash cans are pretty dirty right now. And for those of you who are wondering why maybe you didn't watch last episode and you're wondering why guests are not in the park, it's because that takes up about 1.5%. So Cyclone, which was named by Ramon Camphorst, I hope I said that correctly. I am terrible at pronouncing names, which isn't a great since I'm a teacher, but that is a beautiful view of that coast right there. And woo, look at that first drop. It's got a little bit of a turn to it. Man, I loved how this turned out. Then we have not Carousel. It's called Iron Eagle. I need to change the name of that, so I'll do that in a second. And it was created by Chip. Sorry, Chip, for not going ahead and changing it. That's my fault. We got Flight Deck by Lance Sawyer. And at the time of me filming this, I've actually just posted for the other two coasters, so that will be in the next episode. David Vitrano. So thank you guys for the names and everybody who voted on them. And man, I'm really happy with this coaster being added here, as I think it really adds to the sightline. Looks better than I expected. Yeah, so like I said, we didn't get done with everything in this area. And there's a lot of stuff that's unfinished, and it's because, like I said, when I got to this 100%, I'm going to have to delete another coaster now, because I've still got about 12% to work with. So I wanted to have this be the last part of this area, and the next episode I'll finish off this area, and then the last episode before the park tour, so this is episode 12. Episode 14 will be we'll be doing like the backstage stuff, because I showed you before, love this. I might keep this like this. I need to add a little bit more kind of plants and stuff, but just doing some custom fencing and stuff like that. And then one thing I've been trying to do recently too is using the terrain paint to kind of make that almost look like mulch. But I definitely am going to use when I do the next part, have one of the loadouts be that really dark grass, so that can really make it look like mulch instead of always having to use mulch pieces. But I really like how this turned out. Just add a little bit more detail to it, a couple trees in front. It almost looks like an interesting like log cabin type, something you'd stay at if you're going to like the Rockies or something like that, or the Smoky Mountains, something like that. So, oh, that's a cool view as well. I did not even notice that view before. Wow. Um, yeah, so that's that area. And done most of the custom curbing. And then I've been working on this kind of building, which this is not, there's not really going to be anything in those buildings. But then you come through here, and one thing that I when I started building this, I was like, oh man, you can't see that 0G roll right there. But then the cool thing is if you come through this way, that's the first thing you see. And perfect timing. So that ended up working out really, really well. And so still working on this area, not finished yet, but these are going to be restrooms. Just got to figure out what I want to do with the roof. Got to figure out what I want to do with the station, because obviously this looks terrible right now. So I'll figure out something nice for that, because I'm kind of stuck on that area right now. And then the name of the sign will, by the time this releases, this will be changed to the name. And here's the queue. And I got the idea for this fencing from Steel Vengeance, because if you look up a video or pictures of the queue for Steel Vengeance, it's got this going all the way around. But this is, yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. Really happy with how everything in this park's turning out. I think it's easily my best park. And just trying to get better with each episode, trying to look at stuff other people have created. So I'm thinking about, do I want to do like a lettering up here? I think that'll take away from the nice look of that, or create some kind of sign for this area, and then this will just say entrance or something like that. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm working on. I've started trying to use these decorative courses more, just for different things, because they're, they provide like good borders and stuff like that. Then have no idea what I'm going to do right here. Might put another flat rod, but we'll see. And then here is the wing coaster. And there's how the station is coming along so far. So I got the idea from Wild Eagle at Dollywood. And it's not the exact same station in terms, because, I'm not able to make it exact, and there's a lot of detail to it. But I'm trying to use some of the individual pieces so we can kind of see that right here. So this is really, really cool, really well done, really, really like it. And then, let's see. Trying to think of anything else to talk about before we go on a couple POVs to end it. So this is going to be a restroom right here, and this will be up to the transfer track and stuff. And one thing that I am doing is we are going to have a dual loading station. So I'm going to put right wing, left wing, a sign pointing in the directions here. And I'll put path covering down to kind of hide where you can't see that. And so this is the way that the right wing would go to the station. So obviously this part's not accessible, but that doesn't matter. So we will see how that looks. Now, as I said before, so now we look at the layout of these two. It definitely looks, I think it looks great. It looks like a forest, and I tried to use different types of trees. I did use the oak trees the most, because I feel like they're just really nice, realistic trees. And if anybody thinks that this looks repetitive in a way, like, just get on Google Maps and look at a view of a park from the overhead view, and you can't see the ground. So like something like this is what you see when you're looking at a theme park from above for areas that have trees, right? Like you can't see anything through the top of the trees. So I tried to like put them together as much as possible. A couple areas still to work on there. But as I said before, love how this kind of worked out and stuff. And then I'm trying to think, was there anything else I forgot to say this here. Good old Southern barbecue with all the fixins. So for anybody who's in the South, that's a phrase that's used sometimes with good barbecue. And I think I did ask earlier, for anybody who really likes barbecue, what is your favorite barbecue? And so let's go ahead and wrap this up by looking at a couple POVs. And like I said before, doing the custom fencing and catwalk there. There is one part on this coaster that I can't do anything else to smooth it out, but there's one part where it kind of jolts, and I wish I would have recognized that earlier. Alright, so that was the RMC. Now we're going to look at the wing coaster. And I will say I still need to adjust the terrain a little bit. And there's one part or a couple parts where there's trees colliding with the coaster, so I still need to work on that. But I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.